Our closing segment is called Consider This. And tonight, we consider the most ill-considered rule in major American team sports. Until a few years ago, we would have had to have given serious consideration to baseball's 40-man September rosters, which for decades had down the stretch, heat of the pennant race games, played under weirdly abnormal conditions, with 8 lefties in a 20-man bullpen and 6 pinch runners available in a dugout so crowded it resembled a subway platform at rush hour. But with baseball having come to its senses on that one, and with the ghost runner on second in extra innings not being part of any postseason games, the dubious distinction now belongs to the NFL and its blatantly unfair and wrong-headed overtime rule, especially when applied in the postseason. The idea that a playoff game, including the Super Bowl, can end automatically after a first possession touchdown in overtime is insane. And one definition of insanity, by the way, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And yet consider what's happened in just the last few years. The Falcons' Matt Ryan was the NFL's MVP in 2016. In Super Bowl 51, the Patriots won the overtime coin toss, scored a touchdown, and Ryan never touched the ball. Pointing this out takes nothing away from the Patriots' remarkable comeback in that game, nor does it absolve the Falcons for giving the game away with dubious fourth-quarter strategy. But if the flip had gone the other way, the same thing could have happened to Tom Brady and the Patriots. And it did happen to Aaron Rodgers in back-to-back postseasons, first against Seattle and then against Arizona, and to Patrick Mahomes against Brady and the Patriots in the AFC title game a few seasons later, and to Drew Brees a season after that. And yet the NFL, usually so shrewd about the presentation of its product, continues to run the considerable risk of keeping some of its biggest stars on the sidelines in the biggest moments, in the biggest games. This rule, ending a game on a touchdown but allowing it to continue after a field goal, is the rough equivalent of saying that if in the 7th game of the World Series, the team batting in the top of the 10th scores on a home run, the game is over. But if they score on a single or a sacrifice fly, well, then the game continues. To call this both capricious and illogical would be kind. Think about this. Here we have a league that measures within a millimeter to determine a first down, that looks at 6 different angles to parse a call on a play in the second quarter of an October game between the Jaguars and the Jets, but then lets playoff games, including the Super Bowl, be so influenced by something as random as the toss of a coin. Let's not worry about the NFL's regular season. There are reasons then to get things over quickly. But in the playoffs, no one's going anywhere. In fact, the audience is building, and so too are the stakes and the drama. So at the very least, each team must be guaranteed at least one possession. And better yet, why not play 10-minute periods in the postseason until the game is actually decided, thereby restoring much of the strategy that now is all but completely missing in overtime? Clock management, the race against time, and all the strategic moves that surround it are part of the game's theater and appeal. Why take those crucial elements out of the conclusion of the games that matter most? If some of this rings a bell, yes, I made this very point a few years ago on NBC. Inexplicably, the NFL didn't listen to me then. But they still could listen now, before it happens again in the Super Bowl.